Good evening, everyone. I'm Anushka Singh. I am an intern at the SPARKS Foundation as a data science and business analyst. So today I'll be explaining my first task that is provided by the Spark Foundation. I am from the batch of June 2021. So let's start. Firstly, let me explain you the problem statement, which was to predict the percentage of an student based on the number of study hours. So we're gonna import the necessary libraries, which we have pandas, numpy, cborn, and matplotlib, and then we're gonna make a variable called link to link it with the data set which is provided, and store the data set in stew underscore data. So you can see the data is imported successfully. So we have two columns, hours and scores. So if a student study for 2.5 hours, then he or she will score 21. And then for the dimensional data set, we're using a dot shape function. So you can see we have 25 rows and two columns. And now for checking the information about each column in the data set, we're using dot info function. So we can see that we have 25 hours, non-null, which is a float type, and score 25 null values in type. And then for checking for the null values, in case we have any null values in the data set, so we are using this function. So as we can see, we don't have any null value here. The scribe function, as you can see, we have many attributes like count, mean, standard deviation, minimum 25%, 50%, 75% maximum. So then we can see the conclusion that we don't have any null values, and now we're going to move on to plot a graph, 2D graph, by using matplotlib. So we have this graph based on the data set we were provided, and we have used X label, Y label title as to which is more convenient and to make the graph good. And then we have to divide the data set into attributes and labels. So we're using ilog function. Okay, so after dividing the data into attributes and labels, now we have attributes and labels. Now the next step is to split the data into training and testing sets. So we have X train, X test, train, and Y test. So the use of test size 2.0, that means that we are going to divide our data sets into two halves, that is 80 and 20% ratio. And the random set is used 0 to pick up the values randomly from the data set. Now we have we have trained our model. Now that we are going to import linear regression from sklearn. So we are going to import the linear regression. Now we have to plot a graph okay. So we have as you can see, this purple line represents the regression line on the training set, and these basic I have explained you in the above section, and this graph explains the regression line on the testing set. So we're going to predict the scores now. Okay, so as you can see, this is the predicted score, and then we're going to compare it with the actual one, and then we will you import metrics from the sklearn, so that we can see that the accuracy of the actual and the predicted R squared is 0.94. And to have a visual look from the graph, as you can see, there is not much difference. And for mean absolute error, we are using importing mean squared and error and mean absolute error from sklearn matrices, and then we can see that the mean absolute error is 4.64. So as the final result, what we get is the predicted score for 9.25 hours per day. So what do you mean by this? So if a student study for 9.25 hours per day, then the student will score 9.93.69 marks. So by this we come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching.